In this video, I'll be walking you through a simple and a decent Unifi network setup for one of the client who requested me to have his home network set up because he recently moved to a new house and he wanted to configure his home network by segregating his IoT devices and the guest and from his main LAN. So we'd be creating 3 separate networks, and I'll show you how that's done. And for this network setup, I've considered different firewalls, but again, I initially thought of having the PF Sense, but looking at the price points and the central management, I happened to go to the Ubiquiti one. So I went with the Unifi Security Enterprise Gateway, and then added to that Unifi switch. It's a Unifi US 860 watts PoE, and 2 of Unifi UAP AC LR Wi-Fi long range units for a better Wi-Fi coverage. So first we'll be logging into the cloud portal. Actually, I've set it up and I've been testing this network for a couple of days now, and so far everything works okay without any interference. I've even set up the Wi-Fi on a non-overlapping channels, which I would be walking you through as well. So let's log in right now. So when you log in, click on launch, and this is establishing the remote connection. As you can see in the address bar, it's running 6.0.4.41.0, and that's the current latest version from the Unifi, and that's the landing page. And if you look at the icons on the left hand side, the first goes with the dashboard, which is landing page, and then the map and the devices connected, which is currently I have USG, PoE switch, and 2 APs. And the threat management and settings, we'll go through that settings in a while. So let's go to the map first. So when you go to the map, it shows up your setup on the network. So 2 APs, one at the main level and the upper level, and the ISP modem, USG router, and the Unifi switch will be sitting in the basement. So when you go to the floor plan, this is a typical one of the sample picture of his floor plan. So that's the USG and the access points. That shows the coverage part. Now going to the settings, and I've created basically 3 networks. One for guest with the VLAN ID of 172, so it's easy to identify what's on guest, and one on 107, which is for IoT devices, and the LAN, which is the main USG LAN, or having the secure LAN there. When you click on the edit, that's the DHCP scope range I would be using. I've started from 6 till 254, and that's the controller's IP. Let's go back. And same goes with the IoT VLAN. And when you go to the wireless, I've created the guest Wi-Fi, IoT Wi-Fi, and a secure Wi-Fi. So when you look at the guest, also I've added the profile or the user group for guest, which limits the download for 100 megabits and upload for 10 megabits. And then that would be applied on the guest policy. So that's a guest, and just a regular password, and you could pick the VLAN as to which VLAN it'll be in. So I've picked guest, and it'll be throwing both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and it'll be pushed out to both the APs. If you don't want, you can uncheck or select whichever AP you want. And I've disabled the enable fast roaming since it's on beta. Any of the beta versions, I'm not taking a chance on that. And then I've disabled the unchecked the connect high performance clients to 5 gigahertz only. I'm not going for that, just for a better Wi-Fi optimal settings. And this is where you see the user group, which we created to restrict the bandwidth, which is kind of neat in Unifi. And those are the devices. Setup. Let's go back to the routing. Once when you go to the firewall, these are the rules which were set up. So from the admin they can talk to everything, but whereas the IoT, if you look at this, enabled, and it's all drop for all packets, and source is IoT and destination is LAN subnet. And same thing goes for the guest as well. Guest cannot, the source is guest and the destination guest cannot access, which is I've added both LAN and IoT on the guest cannot access group. And that's the port forwarding, just in case if you want to open any ports to remote access or probably access some of the devices which is sitting on the LAN home equipment. And this is a GeoIP filtering, which is not enabled currently since it's on beta, but I tested it out. It's pretty good with a neat UI interface. But again, like I said before, I'm not taking a chance on any of these beta features. We'll wait until they've been tested out, and then once they are okay, good to go, then I'll be deploying that. And the DPI has been enabled, and I'm not using any guest portal access. This is just a simple guest Wi-Fi, not having any portal setup. And that's the profile. These are the profiles, like even in the switch port, unlike the other devices, Unifi does the switching in a different way. So I just created a trunk port which has both IoT and guest LAN, and depending on how many ever VLANs you have, you can just add them and create one name and give access to the switch ports. And under admins, you could probably create different usernames and give access to the thing. So in this case, I would be creating a username and a password for the client itself with only read-only access, so he can just look at what's going on but cannot modify anything. But again, if he wants, I'll be providing him. He'll be given both super admin and the read-only access, but with limited super admin access. If he has to look up, then he'll be using only the read-only login. And in this option, you could just disable the remote access feature, just in case if you don't want that. It's optional, or you could even log in locally. And for backups, at the moment I've created backups for every day, but going forward I will be changing that to either a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Now let's click on the devices, and these are the devices which are connected right now. So that's this Unifi switch, and currently the port 567 are delivering the PoE. And for Wi-Fi, I've chose the non-overlapping channels for better performance. So if you click on the AP and then click on the gear settings here, and then click on radios. So I'm using the channel width for 20, and the 2.4 I've set it as channel 6 non-overlapping, and 5 gigahertz at channel 153. And same thing for the other one, wherein let's see, this is the second AP. It has channel 11 and 161 without any overlapping channels. And so far it's been over a week right now, and everything is working pretty smooth with these settings. No issues whatsoever, no interference, nothing whatsoever. And it turned out to be pretty good, and looking forward to deploy this probably this coming Sunday. And that's it from mine. Thanks.